Indecisiveness. How many meetings have you been in that lasted way too long due to an inability to come to a consensus on a decision? In this presentation, we're going to address the problem of indecision and how to solve that problem through 4 topics: decisive dialogue, open environments, turning dialogue into action, and feedback. I'm Jonathan Diani.
And I'm Katie Skinner. I'm Lexi Manson.
Tony Sabato. And the problem we see here in most businesses is becoming more and more acceptable to not get things done. And coupled with this mindset, lack of accountability and a failure to meet consensus, employees see no incentive to speak up due to fear of being rejected.
Finally, in the corporate hierarchy, there is a lack of accountability. So inefficiencies are not addressed or acknowledged, and therefore they're not corrected. And these are the core reasons that we thought decisions are not being made in businesses or organizations.
And so to help solve this problem of indecisiveness, the first step is decisive dialogue. And the best way to go about fixing that is through low context communication, which we talked about in class, but it has to do with being really straight and to the point. When you're talking, speak with a goal in mind, and don't just run circles around an idea, but come in knowing exactly what you're going to say. And this might lead to tension because your idea that you're straight and to the point about could be different than someone else's, but as long as you acknowledge this tension and move forward, you can move forward as a group versus ignoring the tension and creating separate factions, and that leads to not making the best decision because not everyone's voices are heard and not everyone is working as a group.
And decisive dialogue ensures that each conversation is a search for truth rather than fighting for your own idea. And you can listen to others' idea, and this gives everyone a chance to speak and feel engaged and ready to act.
The next step to effective and efficient dialogue is fostering an open environment. In an open environment, everyone voices their opinions and how they're feeling on the subject, and the most important part of that is that they feel comfortable doing so. So if you've ever been in an organization or a group where there was one person that wasn't really speaking up, and then asking that person like how they felt on the subject, that's really what an open environment is about. And this method fosters unconventional thinking and transparency in the corporate hierarchy because there's no secrets between peers or peers and superiors.
And a really important aspect of open environment is to make sure no one's ideas are shot down, but instead if there's an idea that someone thinks isn't very effective or useful, they instead change the idea, improve it, build upon it so that everyone feels comfortable and safe in the environment. And that leads to mutual respect, and so no one feels less important or that their ideas are not heard.
Turning dialogue into action. There are 4 characteristics that mark decisive actions and dialogues, and the first one that we're going to talk about is openness. And this is basically going into a meeting or going into conversations with an open mind frame. You're not going in with that an outcome is predetermined, or you're not going in with something that's really set in stone. You're there to hear other people's opinions and allow them to voice their opinions. And to be able to do that, you also have to have a safe environment and a safe atmosphere because you have to be able to have trustworthy amongst all the people that you're with, so people will be able to feel like they can voice their opinions and not get made fun of or get looked down upon. And so that's what openness really talks about.
And turning dialogue into action, candor is just basically honesty of truth. Here you're expressing real opinions. There's no beating around the bush, and when it is used, it stops people from agreeing even though they had no intention of following up.
And informality also encourages candor because it shows that the meeting isn't carefully scripted or orchestrated, the outcome isn't predetermined like Jonathan was talking about before, so everyone's ideas are heard because the decision is going to be made in that meeting. And this reduces defensiveness because everyone feels comfortable asking questions and reacting honestly to the decisions that are being made in the meeting. And that also goes back to supporting the open environment because everyone feels comfortable saying their opinion and the decision is made cohesively as a group instead of by maybe your top executives or just a few different people.
On the other hand, closure is the perfect counterbalance for informality because it ensures that everyone knows what each person is liable for after the dialogue has concluded. It requires set deadlines, so no one is left without accountability, and that's really important that after a meeting, everyone knows what they're going to do and when they're going to do it, and it is what effectively turns the dialogue into the action. Similarly, in a process of positive reinforcement, employees or group members are rewarded when they follow through with their actions, and this is a big thing that we don't see in businesses today, but it's really what makes people incentivized to follow through with what they do.
And feedback can only take place with these prior steps we're taking, and feedback really starts with trust and honesty, and if an idea may not be accepted at first, both parties can come to explain why they may not agree with each other. They can reach an agreement, and the failure to provide honest feedback, cheats employees because they can't improve.
In conclusion, ultimately changing the culture of indecision is a matter of leadership and asking hard questions between peers. So hopefully the next time you're in a meeting, you're having a conversation with people and you're trying to make a decision, you'll be able to use these 4 main points: decisive dialogue, open environments, turning dialogue into action, and feedback, to have no indecision and make the meeting short but effective. Thank you.